Welcome back to Money Matters. In this next interview, we feature container truck driver Nicholas Moore, fairly new to the field, and while he has been a truck driver for 4 years, he has been driving a container truck for 8 months. As you would hear in this interview, his days are long.
His day starts at 3 a.m. when he leaves his Santa Cruz home, and most times he's not done until 11 p.m. He collects and drops off containers at the Port of Spain and Point Lisas ports. Delays at the ports and traffic make it difficult for him to make more than 4 trips per day. And his income depends on how many trips he makes to and from the ports. Let's take a look.
How long have you been a container truck driver?
About 8 months. And before I used to drive truck before, and I switched and I come to do container truck driving now.
What are your days like as being a truck driver?
It has been really long because sometimes in the morning we just had to come and try to beat a little traffic. And it has been real hard because the traffic situation on the road is getting harder and harder every day.
What time do you start on a daily basis?
Well, if we have to go Port of Spain on a morning by 4 o'clock, we have to be on the road heading out to Port of Spain because there's have a lot of traffic from Chase Village to Port of Spain.
If you leave Chase Village at 4 o'clock on mornings, how long does it take you to get to Port of Spain?
Well, it really don't take us that long. If we leave here about 4 o'clock in the morning, we'll be reaching about an hour time or so, due to we have a speed limit, 65. So it really don't take that long. But if we leave 7 o'clock, sometimes around 9, 10 o'clock, we're not reaching Port of Spain.
Are you able to save at the end of the month after you pay all your bills?
Sometimes, yeah, but not all the time. Because everything is when, like, I try to do some work home with the house, and sometimes at the end of the month, we really don't see nothing. So, yeah.
What percentage of your salary are you able to save when you are able?
From 1 to 100, probably about 5 or 5%. It don't mean that much. And I just mostly just to come to work and just put gas in the vehicle and put groceries in the house, stuff like that.
What are your major expenses?
Macallan.
With the fact that we're in an economic downturn at the moment, how do you manage? I mean, are you fearful of one day you have a job, next day you might not have a job?
Well, that's why I'm trying to hold on to the job I have right now, because I realize things getting harder. A lot of people being laid off and they're just home, and I have friends who get laid off and they're trying to look for jobs right now, and they're just home 6-7 months down the road. They're still trying and it's nothing. They're getting part-time jobs, and I guess everything just keeps getting harder. So what we have right now, we need to cherish that.
How many trips do you make on a daily basis?
Well, if I have to go to the ports, sometimes 3 to 4 for the most. If we're working extra late in the night, sometimes 5.
How do you manage in terms of your cost of living, being a truck driver? Is it difficult?
Yeah, well, it's difficult, and it's getting more difficult because every day things just risen every day. Sometimes I go by this shop, it could be $3. You go next door, it could be $5. And every day, everything just keep raising. So everything just getting harder and harder, and we're not hearing about ourselves these days.
Are you paid on a monthly or weekly basis?
A weekly.
Are you able to manage your bills with the amount of money you collect every month?
I sort of pay it weekly now. So as soon as I get paid, I just pay it one time. So I won't wait until month end to come, because every time stuff does come up. So that is why.
Does your pay depend on how many trips you make per day, or is it a flat rate that you collect on a weekly basis?
Well, it depends on how much trips you make for the day. Yeah.
So the more trips you make on a daily basis, the more you would be able to take home.
It's kind of hard because, again, the traffic. Sometimes if we calculate the amount of time we stay just in traffic alone, is nearly 12 hours for the day.
So you would leave home at what, at 3 o'clock on mornings?
Yeah, some mornings I do.
What time do you get home?
Sometimes after 11, after 12. It depends.
What about exhaustion?
Well, let's be real hard. Some people, let's say, all we just do is drive truck whole day. But remember, we have to be active whole day. We can't be restless. We have to be vigilant of our surroundings, stuff like that. So it has been real hard on us. And then the long hours. Sometimes just being tired alone does make work hard. Because you could fall asleep, you could end up in an accident, you could take lives. And then again, people keep bad driving us on the road, so it has been harder. On a morning basis, this is the traffic situation we just had to face every morning to try to go Port of Spain to offload our container. It is we hard to realize we really ain't moving nowhere. Every morning this be the same thing. Sometimes it take we 3 hours just to reach Port of Spain. We right through is had to keep looking at our mirrors because people always trying to filter in on us. People always trying to rush us. Nobody wants to be behind a truck driver. Everybody just keep rushing. They wouldn't stop to give us the way. Watch, you see everybody, the lane ending right now and they're still trying to rush up. Then again, we so high up, they're so low down, they doesn't understand sometimes, we don't really see them. Watch, look at next one coming again, the lane end. Watch how them coming.
Judy, that was a really interesting interview. I just wonder whether the income he makes driving the containers makes it worth his effort and his long days.
He did admit that the salary he basically takes home is not enough to pay his bills. He's not able to save as much as he would like to. He has a lot of bills. But in this job market, in these economic times, he's saying that a lot of his friends, for instance, lost their jobs. So he's holding on to this. It's his one. He's fearful, like many other people, of losing his job during these economic times. And his days are pretty long. And, you know, we heard in the interview as well, he said that, you know, I mean, personally now I have greater respect for those drivers who, you know, those container truck drivers. Many of us don't like to drive behind a truck. And we also, when they decided they want to switch lanes, we try to squeeze them and we don't give them a chance. And he explains how difficult it is for him. And imagine being on the roads from 3 a.m. until almost midnight and just driving, just the exhaustion, how tired he just might be.
Yes, indeed. Well done.
Thank you. Well, that's it for this week's episode of Money Matters.
I'm Anthony Wilson.
I'm Judy Kanhai. Have a great evening.